Yes, I want to start streaming. Stream. Okay, but it's there. Check the stream on Facebook. I don't know where it says that it works. Go live. I don't know where to look at myself now. Guys, can you see me very well? Joe, can you give me a check to tell me if you see me both on Facebook and on Instagram? If you can give me a quick check on both. I see a few people joining. I see one person on Facebook. I see quite a few people coming on. Let me go to this Google Superpowers. Okay guys, I think I see myself now. I see you. Joe, let me know. I'm gonna turn off the sound now. I think you guys are done with. This is the hand pan. Okay. This is an instrument called the hand pan, and it's fantastic. If you guys know it, if you guys don't know it, search it. Do a Google search, the hand pan. So now it's gonna be difficult for me to know where to look at myself, but I'm gonna do it this way. There's a delay in everything that I watch. And I cannot really see myself. Maybe I can. I guess that's where I can see myself. I mean, the hand pen is fantastic. Joe, if you give me a 10 on 10 on both Instagram and Facebook, I'm going to start. My people are waiting. Unfortunately, I don't know how many people I have on Facebook or Instagram, but guys, I keep begging you guys to help me out. I know you guys know how to do this stuff, but I'm learning. It's going to be difficult for me to manage the comments on Facebook, but I'll just come on there to check from time to time. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick to this screen right here. Yeah, I'm going to stick to this screen right here. All right, guys, if there's anything, just send me a message. Let me know. Send me a message. But I think I see everybody on here. Okay. Let's take a breath. If anybody wants to help me next time because you think it's really cringeworthy seeing me set myself up online, please reach out to me. I'm always willing to learn. I don't know it all. Say, hey girl, do you want some help? I'll get the help, okay? So that being said, Joe, if you see my internet skipping or anything, please let me know, okay? That's important because I'll just use my phone. I don't have good internet here. Guys, today we're going to talk about beliefs. Nous allons parler de croyances. Son gros mot vle di pou nou. It's a big word for us Haitian people, specifically in the context that I'm mentioning it right now because this has been my personal experience. Mais avant tout, mon nom est Anne-Christie Guillaume. I am somebody who's invested in personal development as a way to help humanity evolve. I want humanity to be a better place for us all. I want to live in a place that is better than where we are and where we've been going. And so I created the School of Superpowers, which is a platform meant to help people evolve and grow. Okay? So, moi parle créole très bien. Moi te ka fait tout bail en créole. Cependant, il y a plus moun qui parle anglais sur plateforme là que moun qui parle créole. I would love to do it in Creole, guys, but I can't because there's more people speaking English than speaking Creole. J'aurais aussi pu le faire en français, mais en fait, je pense que je rejoindrais encore moins de personnes si je le faisais en français que si je le fais en anglais ou même en créole. Pour ce, on va mettre la langue française de côté. On va mettre la langue française de côté. On va mettre créole là à côté. Et puis, we're going to speak English. Okay? Please, if there is anything that I said that you do not understand, please reach out to me. Send me a message. We can talk offline. We can talk a side conversation. We can dig deeper. But I will continue in English. Okay. Today we're going to talk about belief. Croyance. What is belief? Well, what is belief? I said to myself, let me ask ChatGPT. Isn't it what we all do now? Every time we have a question, we ask ChatGPT? Okay. Well, this is what ChatGPT told me. The definition of belief. A belief is an acceptance or conviction that something is true or exists. A belief is either an acceptance or a conviction. It is often without any conclusive evidence or proof. Meaning you can believe in something, but that there's no proof that it's actually real. Okay? A belief is a mental attitude or a state of mind that reflects on an individual's acceptance of a particular idea, concept, or proposition. A belief is a mental attitude. It is a state of mind. So far, there's nowhere where we say that a belief is the truth. Please pay attention to that. Now, beliefs can be based on personal experience, meaning what you have gone through, what you have been through, what you have seen. Your belief is based on that. Cultural or societal influences. When you hear people say, that's how it's been done, that's how I've always seen it done, that's why my mama, my grandpa, has been doing it, that's how my community has done it, that's called cultural or societal influences. And then religious or spiritual teachings, what the Bible said, what the Quran said, what this spiritual book said. These is where your beliefs are lying in. And logical reasoning, mathematicians. If x plus 1 equal 2, then x equal what? 1. Logical reasoning. Okay? Or a combination of these factors. So when we talk about belief, a belief is an acceptance or a conviction. A belief is based on your personal experiences, your cultural or societal experiences, religious or spiritual teachings. What does that tell you? What does that tell you about belief? So far, there is nowhere here that it says that a belief is true. A belief can be true, but a belief does not have to be true. A belief is not necessarily true. It's not because you believe in something that it is true. It's not because you don't believe in something that it is not true. Kind of confusing, isn't it? It certainly was for me. Let me tell you a story about an elephant. Do you guys know how they raise elephants? How do you raise an elephant? Does anybody know? Just put a little emoji somewhere, something. Oh, I'm sorry if I'm making noise with this. If you know about how to raise an elephant, while I sip some tea. I don't see no one from my Facebook people or my Instagram people. How do you raise an elephant? When the elephant is a baby, since the elephant is born, did my stream stop? I think it might have stopped. I hope you guys are still with me. Guys, let me know that you're still with me. I'm going to continue. I think you guys are still with me, right? No, I don't think it's working anymore. Oh, you guys seeing me? Oh no, this is not working for me at all. Joe, if you tell me that you're still here, please. If not, I'm just gonna restart this live. Okay, I'm live. Okay, Joe. All right, let's continue. Yes. How do you raise an elephant? Since the elephant is born, the first thing that the elephant keepers do they tie the elephant's neck or the elephant's foot to a big tree, a sturdy tree. So as the elephant grows, the elephant goes around the tree. The elephant has a specific perimeter it can stay within because the elephant is small and tied to the tree. The elephant, they want to tame the elephant. The elephant is a huge animal. They don't want the animal to go wild and go crazy. So they make sure that they condition the elephant to stay within a specific perimeter by tying the elephant to a big tree. The elephant, as it grows maybe 10 times its size from when it was a baby. Now the elephant is a giant. But the elephant is still living within the same perimeter that was delimited for it when it was a baby. The elephant failed to realize that it's big enough now that it can, with a little movement of his head, he can completely break the tree down and just run away. The elephant does not have the mindset that it can actually move away. So the elephant is conditioned to living within that same perimeter all its life, if it's not trained otherwise. The elephant is not going to ever go further than the perimeter that it's used to. This is what we're going to talk about today, of how we live our lives in the same way. We live our lives within the same little perimeter that has been delimited for us by our personal experiences, our cultural or societal influences, religious teachings, logical reasoning, or spiritual matters. We end up living within a specific delimited boundary. We are our own gatekeepers, but let's take it step by step. I want us to look at 3 big misconceptions that we have of belief. This was so hard for me to understand, and it was so hard for me to comprehend, and I really had to dig deep within myself to understand. A belief does not equate to truth. C'est pas parce que ou croit dans un bagay que ça veut dire que li vrai. C'est pas parce que ou croit dans un bagay que ça veut dire que c'est la vérité. C'est pas parce que ou croit dans un bagay que ça veut dire que c'est pour tout bon. Believing in something does not make it true. Something can be true and you believe in it, and then it becomes untrue, but then you still believe in it. Think about the elephant. When the elephant was a baby, it was true that the elephant could not go beyond the set perimeter that was delimited for it. It was true then. And the elephant's belief of not being able to go beyond the perimeter was correct. It became untrue when the elephant grew, except that the elephant's belief did not change with its size. So although the elephant grew, its mindset stayed the same. Its mindset did not change. So you can see how something can be true and you believe in it, and it becomes untrue and you still believe in it. So think about every single thing that you believe in. Assess it and reassess it. Ask yourself, is it true? Because it just might not be anymore. I'm going to give you another example, then you will see what I'm trying to say. In the second one, Beliefs are often passed on from one generation to the other. Like us Haitian people, we love to say, c'est ça grand-papa m'de kon fè, ou c'est ça maman m'de kon fè, c'est ça papa m'de kon fè. Other people out there in the world, what do they say? This is how my daddy used to do it. This is how my mama used to do it. This is how my grandpa used to do it. This is how my grand auntie used to do it. So then it means that this is why I believe that it's true. Is because they taught it to me and it made sense, and I've been living with that knowledge sense. Let me give you an example of a chicken recipe. There's this popular recipe that this family has been carrying on from generation to generation to generation. It was a famous chicken recipe. At one point, the mom, whose mother gave her the recipe because her grandmother gave her the recipe, decided to question the recipe and say, but go back to it and ask. She asked her mom, but why is it that when I do the chicken, I have to do it this way, and that way? The mom said, do you want to make the great chicken, or do you just want to do your own thing? And the daughter is like, well, I just want to understand, like, why is it that every time we have to take the chicken, we have to follow the exact same process? Do you believe that if we change the process, the chicken is still going to be good? The mother's like, the mother of the mother, right, said, no, I've never tried that because I've always gotten that recipe right by following the recipe. Part of the recipe was this. Oh, you have Caribbean 85. You say there's no sound? Guys, can you let me know if there's no sound, if I'm just speaking to myself? Give me something on the live so I know I'm not speaking. Guys, can you hear me? I hear there's no sound. I hope that my Facebook people can still hear me. But so far, I'm going to continue. But Caribbean 85 says there's no sound. Caribbean 85, send me another message. Okay. Fanny says that Fanny says that we hear you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, I'm going to continue. The chicken recipe. Part of the chicken recipe was what? They had to take a big, those big pots like this? Big tall pots. And they have to take the chicken. They have to cut the chicken legs and put it in the pot and cook it. And the daughter is like, but why do we need to cut the chicken legs? When she went further back, did some research about the recipe, what did she find out? The reason why they cut the chicken legs and threw them away was because back then the pots were small. Because the pots were small and the chicken were bigger, they had to cut the chicken legs to fit it in the pot. So now here we go. Generations after generations after generations. They're still cutting the chicken legs, still throwing the chicken legs out so that the recipe can be great. This is another way where, yes, knowledge has been passed on lovingly from your parents down to you. But if you do not add any of yourself into the process and assess and ask yourself, then there's no innovation. This is how a belief of this is how the recipe is. This is, blindly believing in something can steer you wrong. You're missing the point of the recipe, because now the daughter effectively, she has an opportunity to make the recipe what? Better. Because, hey, first of all, you have more chicken because you're not throwing away unnecessarily, you're not throwing away chicken. It's not because your parents and your grandparents have given you a knowledge today that it means that today it is applicable in the same way. You are not letting your family down by not wholeheartedly embracing every single thing they taught you. If we were real, if we were doing our jobs, what we would do is enhance that knowledge and make it applicable to today. If we were gutsy enough, that's what we would do. But if we keep following the same path that our parents have carved down for us, we are not creating anything new. We're not moving the generation forward in any kind of way, because the only thing we're doing is navigating back and forth on the same road that they have already paved. How do you take knowledge from the past and make it applicable to today so that you can grow and evolve? That's the question. But when we stay stuck, oh, that's how my mom used to do it. Your mom was not a god. Your mom was just like you today. I always say that. I'm 41 years old. I remember when my mom was 41 years old. There is no way in hell she was perfect. So we cannot expect people to be perfect because they existed before us. It is our job to be great in this generation and do something new. It's a relay course. I always say that. So if you're in a relay course, the person is running, the person is passing the baton. Do you go backwards or do you keep going? But that's our job, is to keep going. So when we think about our beliefs, please, every time you guys hear yourself say, that's how my mom used to do it. That's how my daddy used to do it. Take a step back and honor them by making it better, because it is a relay course. So that's step number 2 of the misconceptions about beliefs. Point 3, which is really an extension of point 2. Where we are going has never been gone before. Where we are going from this point on, moving forward, has never been done before. So it's up to us to establish new beliefs that are meant to be helpful to us. You know, before I jump to that, let me finish this thought. Our job is to create our future. And in order to create something new, we have to come up with new beliefs that support the growth that we want to achieve. Now, okay, people are like, man, that's kind of uncomfortable. So I just decide to believe whatever just because of whatever, because it suits me. Yeah, that's exactly it. That is exactly it. You believe in something to create a future that has never been created before. Think about those greats. Actually, that's actually my next section. I want to give you some citations and some quotes. We all want to be great to some level. Everybody has part of themselves that want to be great. Either you want to make a lot of money, you want to be healthy, you want to be beautiful, sexy, you want to have the great man, you want to have a great family. We all have something that we strive for. Now let's take a step back. Me, I love doing that. Let's look at the people who we believe has accomplished that, right? People who are successful in the way that we would love to be successful. People who represent the kind of people we want to become. What do these people always say? There's a commonality in everybody who's great. There is a commonality. The best way for you to find out is go check an award show. You see music award, movie award, any kind of award. Look at the person who wins and look at what they say. As a matter of fact, remember that black girl who won the tennis tournament the other day? Even her, at her age, she said the exact same thing that all the greats have said. A lot of people didn't believe in me. A lot of people didn't think I could do it. Not because they hated me, just because they didn't have that belief. I decided to believe in myself, and that's how I got here. They always tell you, Believe in yourself. I believed in myself. That's why I'm here. Let's go back to the past. You guys remember Anatole France? I don't know how to say it in English. Anatole France, which was a French poet, journalist, writer. I think of the 17th century, I think. Maybe 17th or 18th century. He said this. So that was back in the days. To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream. Not only plan, but also believe. Anatole France, let's say it again. To accomplish great things, let's assume you want to accomplish anything great in your life. As small as it is, as small of an aspect of your life as it is, or if as big of an aspect of your life as it is. To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream. Not only plan, but also believe. So you might be sitting here having your plan, you have a business plan, you have all these things. If you do not believe that it's possible, it won't happen for you. It will not happen. Success does not come without belief. So if you don't believe that you can get there, you likely won't get there. Because belief is the fuel that is needed. Belief is half the work that you need to do. Then you need to plan and you need to work. But belief always brings you halfway there. So now if you don't believe it, you're not there. So that's Anatole France. Plus près de nous, Henry Ford. Big industrial guy, Ford. Everybody knows of Ford cars, right? Henry Ford. I love this one. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. What does that mean? Que ou pense, l'on pense au capable, que ou pense que ou capable, que ou pense que ou pas capable, ou gen raison. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. So it doesn't matter. It's about what you think. It's about what you believe. Do you believe that you can? Then you're right. Do you believe that you can't? Belief is a figment of your imagination. Belief is not something that is real. It's not an object. It is a fuel. It is an energy field that you get yourself into. All the greats have done this successfully. All of them believed in something that you didn't believe in, that they didn't believe in, that this person didn't believe in. So it's about your belief, and nobody can believe it for you. You have to believe it so that it can work. Let me give you another one. Steve Jobs. Hey, everybody knows Steve Jobs, Steve Jobs, Steve Jobs. Okay, this is a longer one, guys, but it says the same thing. But I'm going to read it for you. I wish I knew it by heart, but I don't. Your time is limited. Your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. Ça veut dire que if I'm sitting here, if you're looking at me, following me, you're wasting your time. You're losing your time. You're wasting your time. You need to be focusing on something bigger than me. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living the result of other people's thinking. Somebody sat there, thought of something, decided something, and you blindly decide to follow it. Before you ask yourself, is it serving me or is it hindering me? No, you just follow it because you just want to believe so much. I'm going to make this real soon. One of the things that they say about successful people don't put anybody on a pedestal because they understand why the person is where they are. Unsuccessful people, oh God, Monsa, oh my God, wow. They tend to glorify other people who have succeeded because there's a deep belief that it's not for them, that they could not get there, that this person has something that they don't have. But what they fail to realize is that this person has belief and they don't. Let's continue. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown your own inner voice. This is Steve Jobs telling you this. Do not let the noise of other people's opinion drown your own inner voice. A lot of times we don't even know what our inner voice is, because the moment that something comes into your mind, you think about, what is my husband going to say? What is my friend going to say? What is my boss going to say? What is this person going to say? What is that person going to think? Automatically in our minds, we go there. And the voice of our inner voice, that's the last thing we hear. I'm going to continue. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. Have the courage, meaning even though you feel the way you feel about what other people may think about what it is that you are doing, have the guts, have the balls, have the courage to follow your dream, to follow your vision, to follow your intuition. A lot of times we feel like we have to explain ourselves to people. It is difficult to explain intuition and to make it logical. So then when we cannot logically explain what we want to say, we start doubting our own selves. You shouldn't even be trying to justify it in the first place. This was not, but we're looking for that validation. We're looking for that, oh yeah, I agree with you. And we're looking for like a band behind us, chanting us, so that we can use that as fuel to move forward. You have to be your own cheerleader first. Nobody's going to be your cheerleader if you do not become your own cheerleader first. So that's why they say have courage. And so I'm gonna repeat that sentence. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Everything else. I never told you guys, F everyone, nobody matters, I'm the one who only matters. But it is secondary to you. What your intuition tells you deep down inside of your heart, as illogical as, oh, it doesn't even match what my ancestors have done. It doesn't match what's around me in my society. It doesn't match with anything. It must not be true. Let me go and believe in something that somebody else tells me because there's more social proof for it. That's typically what we do. And then we live a life of fakeness. We're just fake because we're just following other people's paths. We're not following our own. We don't even know what our own is. As a matter of fact, our own inner voice is what is secondary to our lives. You realize that? What is secondary to our lives is our inner voice, not other people's inner voice or public opinion about this or about that. So great people have done it in a certain way. Great people understand that they're not the elephant. Great people understand that, oh, I'm a bigger elephant now. Let me break free and do my own thing. Most of us, we live like the elephant who has been tamed and conditioned, and we just stay in our little space. So these beliefs, the belief that the elephant had is what you call a limiting belief. I love the word limiting. It's a belief that puts you in a specific bubble, a tiny box, a specific circumference. Is a belief that is too small for you. Remember the chicken example? It's a limiting belief. The pot was too small, but there was a time when the pot was big because the chickens were small. First of all, there were no hormones like that to make big chickens, okay? So the chickens were small and the pots were big. So, the opposite. The pots were small and the chickens were too big for the small pots because they were making small pots. But now the pots are big, the pots are huge, so they make big, huge pots. You don't have to cut the chicken legs anymore to fit it in the pot the way you had to in the past. Do you see? That's what you call a limiting belief. It limits you. It limits you to a specific area. So now I'm going to give you a few things of what you can do to identify what your limiting beliefs are. Simple. Any sentence that you say that has I will never. I will always. This will never. This will always. I can never. Let me give you some examples. I will never find a healthy relationship that fits me. First of all, I've never seen this around me. I don't know nobody around me who lives like this, so it's never gonna happen. I will always be fat. Always. First of all, I was born fat. Okay. I was born fat. I was always chubby. So then I will always be fat. I will never be slim. Well, first of all, there's so much science. Even if you decide to do nothing, you're lazy, you don't want to work out, nothing. There's so much science that proves otherwise now. Not everybody's on Ozempic. So, I mean, not to say I'm not encouraging nobody to do Ozempic, but I'm just saying that even you saying it is untrue, because you could do Ozempic if you wanted to. You could do surgery if you wanted to. So, or you could work out, or you could find new ways, or you can find new foods, or you can utilize science to understand what's going on. But no, we just say, I will always be fat because I was always fat since I was a baby. In my teenage years, I tried everything I've never, so then I'm always going to be. Okay, that is a limiting belief. And then you stay in that belief, and then you see what it does for every other areas of your life. Okay. This will never work out. Everybody in my family had started a business and they failed. So it will never work out for me. I know it. Okay. I can never get things right. Sometimes we just say it because we make a mistake and we just say it. So now look around your life and read. Johnny says no sound. I don't know why people are saying no sound. Some people are saying sound. Oh, I see Frances Thomas Rousier is online. Hello. Okay, let me continue, guys. Let me not get distracted. So these are ways that you can just identify your limiting beliefs. I will never, I will always, this will always be that. This is you staying fixed and nothing can change. Okay. Now let's look at where limiting beliefs manifest in your life. So I started a little bit late. I'll probably finish like in about, give me another 30 minutes, guys. I suspect, because I did start late. And for me, I think it's about 90 minutes that I run. Let's look at our relation. We're going to look at 3 areas: our relationships, our career, and our just regular daily life. Your relationships. So we just said, I will never, I will always. Okay. In your relationships, where do you have limiting beliefs? Settling with the wrong partner. Because somehow you believe that, well, you're not going to get anything better. I mean, look at my friends, like look at my family, look at, I have this thing in my family where my cousin and I used to say, well, all our aunts are divorced. So this clearly means something for us. Clearly. I mean, and then we stayed in that belief for a very long time, that we believed that, well, they all got divorced at some point, and the ones who are still married. So, it's a curse. Like, this is it. Like, this is, and then you perpetuate it. And with the law of attraction, well, hey, the law of attraction is just right there waiting for you anyway, right? Whatever you speak comes to life. So in our relationship, settling in the wrong relationship, settling with the wrong partners, because we have beliefs about ourselves and about life that supports that choice. I'm going to touch briefly on this topic. Being in abusive relationships, being in toxic abusive relationships, abuse in any form. A big part of it is related to your core beliefs about yourself. The core beliefs are typically created in your childhood. Let me give you an example. Me, I have no shame at this point. After 40, you have no shame. For me anyway. Like for me, for instance, I was in an abusive relationship, and I'm like, man, I remember people saying, oh, someone smart like you in an abusive relationship. Yeah, it's not because it's not because you're smart that you cannot be in an abusive relationship. Abusive relationships don't catch dumb people only, right? But then when you look at it, why was me in an abusive relationship? Why? Well, it's not a shock because I was abused as a child. But oh wait, Ankrissy, I thought you were over it. Yeah, in a way. I kind of had to live, but the core belief was ingrained in me when I was a child. First of all, real quick, I was extremely bullied because I was very, very, very thin. Somehow it was a problem. I was very thin. I was very dark skinned. I'm so dark skinned. I guess the light is making me look a little chocolatey, but I was very dark skinned, right? Bad hair, So I was bullied in the house. Bullied by my step siblings. Bullied and abused by them, right? So these were my first instances of abuse. And then so for me, what it did, I was like, okay, I have to continuously get away from that, right? I have to continuously be someone, and it's always about, am I loved or am I unloved? Am I acceptable? Am I unacceptable? But then, so that's a belief that helped me in this, because actually that belief kind of helped me get out of it, because I was very, very, very good at identifying what was good, what was in and what was not in, right? If I behaved this way, I had less negative feedback. But if I did this way, meaning being myself, it was not working. So let me not be this person and be this person instead. So people who are abused in their childhood are become very smart because they become animalistic, right? You live in a fight or flight. So I was very smart at identifying who I needed to become so I could be safe. You know what that does? Now you grow up and then you meet a guy. And the guy that you meet, law of attraction, especially if you have not healed, or even if it's not law of attraction, you meet someone that replicates that same little dynamic of asking you to prove yourself to them, meaning you have to do this to be loved. If you do that, I do that very well. I'm good at it. So now I'm in this and I'm doing this. So this is just to give you a little background. I'm saying this, guys, and I'm taking some time to say this because 1 out of every 5 women have been abused or will be abused in their life in this lifetime. So now if I have 500 people watching me divided by 5, so that's 100 people who have gone through or will go through this. If 500 is women, blah, 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 and then the US statistics, okay? But it's about that proportion. So I'm saying this to say that. You see how my belief actually helped me when I was a child because I truly was bullied. So I glorified light skin, not even light skin, white. I glorified that because that's what they loved. So thankfully I didn't get a chance to get into bleaching and stuff like that, but I don't know, maybe I would have. I've identified the things that would make me more desirable, and I gravitated towards that and left myself behind. And then so when you grow up and then you get in, so that's a belief, but it helped me because I was able to adopt that, and it actually kept me safe in that household. I knew how to make myself small. I knew how to say the right things, how to not say the things that I really thought so that I was not judged and bullied more. So I was actively protecting myself from my bullies, and I became good at it. That even helped me in my career until it stopped helping me in my career. There's a point that the belief that you have does help you. But at what point, like the elephant, at what point do you break free? At what point do you now say, you know what, now I'm out of this war zone. I am safe now. Now how can I, right? But I had to go through all that to understand, I was still operating in a fight or flight, still proving myself constantly and not feeling like, my worth is, I'm worthy of something now. Okay. So this is kind of how it happens. So that's why I'm talking about relationships and about abuse, because I think it's important. And I'm hoping anybody who's in an abusive relationship right now, look in yourself and look to see where your belief about yourself has had this like weakness in it that allowed another person to play in your fight mode. You know, it's like people who go to war. It's great that if they shoot you, you jump on the floor and then you roll and then you do a bunch of stuff. But if you're out here in the society and then you hear somebody like slam the door and you do the same thing, it is inappropriate. It's not saving you. It's not helpful. It's not needed. So that mentality, that mindset, you need to give it up because it's not appropriate for the time that you are in. Same thing about beliefs. Same thing. Where you are today, how is it helping you? Is it helping you? Is it hindering you? Let's move on. Career, real quick. How many of us are in a career because, hey, my mama was a dentist, my papa was a dentist, my grandpa was a dentist, so I'm a dentist. Boom. You don't ask yourself no questions. You don't think that maybe they were dentists because, look, you know, some people, they had a profession because this is what was going to save them at the time because of war, because of persecution, because of a bunch of things. They decided to go into a profession that made them safe. It's not necessarily because they loved it. You know what Jews had to do, the types of things that they had to get into in order to be safe, but it's not something that they need to carry moving forward. If you see, oh, all my family has been working in mines. Well, because mines were what biggest industry but you don't have to be digging no mines right now. So the question is, what is your inner voice telling you? It is okay to listen to your inner voice. You see the Éveil Spirituel, which I absolutely love that event. I watched the live and how Eugene was explaining the event on the 21st and 22nd of this month. He said, yeah, 21 plus 22, 7. That's how I know Euglene's dates, because it's all sevens. They teach you ways to connect with yourself. That's pretty much it. So the more you connect with yourself, the more you get in touch with yourself, the more you can start now putting your inner voice and your intuition as the primary voice, and everybody else is secondary. Again, I'm not telling you to take everything somebody says, throw it in the trash. No. What I am saying though is your voice needs to be first. Now, how can you trust your voice? How do you get? That's why they do these events. Éveil Spirituel. Go to that event. They teach you how to breathe. We don't know how to breathe for real. Me, I don't even know when was the last time I took a breath. Let me take a breath right now. Reconsider your career. Reconsider. Is that helping you? Does that make sense for you today? They ain't gonna judge you. Or if they judge you, they're judging themselves. And if they judge you, they're just expressing themselves. It's free speech. Look in your career where your beliefs have kept you stuck. Somehow you think you need to be doing this thing. You think you must. You think you have to. You think you don't have a choice. Because when you look in the past, don't look in the past. Look in the future. Where are you bringing your generation? Where are you bringing your family? Where are you bringing yourself? Where are you going? You cannot drive a car and then your head is going backwards. That's what we do. I have this picture which I want to share on my page. This person moving forward, but then this person is how do you say that in English? Awuzi. Watering the past. So you're watering the past and then you're moving forward. So the past is growing behind you and the future is inexistent. Because the future is new. Think about when, I hate this man, Christopher Columbus, I must say, but let's just think about the concept of what he did, which is taking a ship and going and discovering. But he went to colonizer mindset, right? He was running away from his from something. But it's the idea of going into something new that you've never seen before, that you don't know. That's what the future is. You're here to create it. You're not here to copy over someone. You're copying in the past. This is for you to come up with something new. So that's why Steve Jobs is saying it takes courage, because you're putting one foot in front of the other and you don't know what's in front of you. Well, if you respect and love and cherish your past so much, the people from your past so much, why don't you become one that they can one day be proud of as well? Because it is very possible. Okay. And then finally, your regular life. Where in your regular life that you're living in a lie, going out with people you don't need to be going out with, hanging out with people you don't even really care, because you're just going out because this is what the flow of it is, and because this is what people do, and because most of the things you do are fake because you're just following along to get along. You see this person driving this car, you don't even like that car, but you feel you need to drive it too. You see this person going there, you don't even like it, but you go there too. You see, these are all limited beliefs because you don't have a belief of your own. And then so you need somebody else to tell you what to do, because we've lost the capacity to connect with our own selves, which is why I strongly encourage you, if you can, go to Éveil Spirituel, because these are the kind of events that teach you how to, and look, okay, it may sound that I'm plugging this event, but I actually think it would be great. If I was in Haiti right now, I would absolutely go, because you get to learn how to connect with your mind, with your body, with your soul, with it empowers you. That's what you call empowering. You become empowered as an individual. And now okay, my voice is speaking to me. This is what it's telling me. Does that make sense for me? How do I move forward with that? You can talk to other people about it, but you are the CEO of your own lives. And I've said this in other lives. Okay. Guys, we're almost done. I'm going to give you 5 things that you can do to manage your limiting beliefs. You can do all 5. You can do 1, you can do 2, you can do 3, however you want. It's not like in order or anything like that. First thing, stop looking for validation today. That is a hard one. It was a hard one for me. I just told you, I was an abused child. I was bullied, I was abused. So everything I was doing was looking for validation. So for me, not having validation is unsettling, because I need somebody to tell me that what I'm doing is right, because I live to be accepted. You see, if you live to be accepted, then you're waiting for somebody to tell you to do something that, right? Okay. So stop looking for validation today. Have the courage to not know or not care what anybody else has to say. Because anybody else who says anything are expressing their own truths, their own minds, their own beliefs. They are not God. If you want to understand what God has to say, then you speak to God. God is not a person that you call on the phone, is not your friend on Facebook, is not your IG influencer. It's not me. Connect to God yourself. Connect to Source. God will tell you. God will give you the validation that you need. No one need. Let that go. That's one. If you do nothing and you do just that, it's going to help you. Because for people who are people pleasers, it's unsettling. Hey, I'm going to do this thing, but I vowed not to beg people for a yay or a nay. So then it's you who has to give yourself the resonance and say yes, yes, or no, no. And having to learn between your intuition and fear. Have to learn the voice of your intuition and the voice of fear. So you need to do that work. There needs to be healing that happens. Okay, so that's one. Number 2, communicate with others in a different way. Here's what I mean. Although I said F everyone else, but actually no, it's because you have to bring them in as secondary layer. You make up your mind, you know what it is that you want, but the way you communicate with people is seeing if their belief is able to help you or not. Be selfish, be self-centered. You know why? You know why you should be selfish and self-centered? Because God put you on this planet to only take care of you. So please don't try to be altruistic when you don't even know how to take care of you. Take care of you. Be selfish. Focus on yourself. I say that to my kids. I think I say that. I think that's the thing on repeat in the house. Focus on yourself. Oh, what about Ted? What about this? Focus on yourself. What's your name? You have one name. Focus on you. So communicate with others in a different way. when you communicate with others, is to share. It's not to be subservient to them. It's not to wait for them to tell you what to do. It's for you to be able to see, oh, let me see what this person is doing, how they're managing this. And if I can take this element and it can help me. I can come to someone and say, hey, I have this project that I'm doing and I see a similarity in what you are doing there. How can you help me? Can you help me figure this out for myself? Because this is where I want to go. You're not asking the person, where do I want to go? Where do you think I should go? No, this is where I want to go. And I see how you have used this or not used that. And then this becomes a collaboration. It becomes a help, a support. That's why I say we're not meant to live here by ourselves, although we're supposed to focus on ourselves. We use other people like that as a collaboration, but we have to stop looking for masters in the people that we interact with. And so that we can disengage from making decisions for ourselves, right? Okay. So communicate with others in a different way, more of a collaborative way rather than let me wait to see what they have to say or think. Okay. Number 3, let go of what no longer serves you. Let go of what no longer serves you. The conditioning of the elephant. The elephant had to let go of the fact that it was no longer a baby, that it had strength now, and that it can actually move and move away. It didn't have to stay in me and my own healing. I don't have to prove anything to no one anymore. Thank God I realized that before it was too late. But I don't have to. But I did have to in the past if I wanted to survive in that household. I had to. But I don't have to anymore. The guy who was at war and who had to jump behind cars, jump behind buildings, do backflips, doesn't need to do that at the grocery store because he hears somebody scream loud on the other aisle. Because it's not appropriate anymore. You have to let go of what no longer serves you. And another way you can do that in a loving way. I was speaking to one of my students the other day, and she was telling me how, oh my God, I really think I'm in love with narcissists. I always end up attracting them, and she's proceeding to tell me all sorts of negative, unhelpful rapport she's been having with different men. And I tell her, I said, look, one way to look at it, because, we have a tendency of just hating ourselves. Oh, look at me. Why did I do that? Or I shouldn't have done that. Or, and then you kind of hate yourself. I stayed in the situation too long. You see all that stuff. Don't say that to yourself. Instead, tell yourself that, you know what? You needed it at one point, because at one point you needed a narcissist because you were you had an avoidant, submissive attachment behavior. So you needed that. That was the pair. But as you're doing your work and you are healing, the reason why these people, the narcs, that they say you don't deal with them as well anymore is because you are evolving. And now it's okay to say, this friendship's no longer serving me. You don't need to say, I should have done this a long time ago. No. I told her, just like a jug of milk, right? When you bought the milk, it was good. In your mouth anyway, right? You tasted it, you liked it. And then there's a point that it says expired. You were still drinking that stuff. It was still kind of okay. But there's a point it's goddamn sour. You need to throw that away. That's what it is. Letting go of what no longer serves you. And then so it's lovingly understanding. And you leave these things with love and care. You leave them with peace. You leave them with having reconciled with those things. So for me, I used to kind of, ding on myself for being a people pleaser. I'm always doing the most. I know how to be fantastic. But you know what? I used to hate myself for it, but then now I don't, because I recognize it's actually a skill that I can use when I need. In business, it helps me. Doing this live, it helps me because it helps me communicate effectively. I'm very emotionally intelligent because I became emotionally astute because of what went on with me in the past. I have more empathy. I can totally see when somebody's suffering inside. I can see that in their eyes because up until today in my room, I have a picture of myself as a child and I saw this suffering in her eyes, in my eyes. So although these things have happened, thankfully we're alive and we're here. Anybody who's talking to me here is alive. Anybody who's speaking to me right now, is online right now, is alive. So then we're here. What do we do with that? We can use those things to our advantage because we've survived them. We've overcame them. So we've developed skills. We've developed muscles that allow us. Now, how are we going to use it? We can use it for good. I can use my skills that I've developed, my survival skills. I can use them for business. I can use them for the future. Think about that. Number 4 of 5. How can this be said differently? Remember when I was saying, I will never, I will always, this will never, this will always, I cannot, I can never. Add a few more words behind it. You see the shift in mindset that it can do. I cannot yet. Yet makes a big difference. Big difference. I cannot yet. You open yourself up to possibilities. I will always be fat until. Open yourself up to something that's possible. I can never be happy unless. Create opportunities, create options for yourself because you have options. These are ways of reframing your limiting beliefs. Me, I used to say, I will never be in a healthy relationship. But now I realize until I start recognizing my patterns, until I start healing, I get on the healing journey, until I become more aware, and then you pull yourself out of things when you allow yourself to just reframe a belief that was keeping you in a box and where there's no way out of the box. And the 5th thing that you can do, adopt a growth mindset. Now, I can do a whole live on growth mindset versus fixed mindset, but I wanted to put it here because I think this is something that we can still use at that level. If you don't know anything about growth mindset and fixed mindset, think about it that way. Growth mindset is when you think things cannot change and evolve. That's the fixed mind. The growth mindset is things can change and evolve. Anything can change and evolve. There's no definitive answer. There's no period and I've arrived and it's done and it's like, that does not exist. A growth mindset is things continuously change, things continuously evolve. So if I can't today, I might be able tomorrow. Or I failed today, I probably won't tomorrow. That's growth mindset. Growth mindset does not look at a specific event, but it relies on the fact that anything can change with you, with effort, with knowledge, with collaboration, with more learning, with more rest, with more workout, with more of this or less of that. That's the growth mindset. So there's no I'm staying in a fixed mindset. The fixed mindset is, it is what it is and you better get used to it. That's fixed mindset. And we know in Haiti we do that a lot. It's always been like this. Isn't it how it's always been? What do you gotta complain for? Like Joe said to me, why are you making a big deal out of it? Because you're not allowed to stand against any status quo. This is what it is. Did you know? What's wrong with you? Oh. Every time in Haiti somebody expresses something, they used to say that to me a lot. Oh my God, that was one of the small ways that they believe me. Small ways. What's wrong with you? This is me expressing, oh, I want a hairstyle. Oh, look, I have this nice new top. Huh? What do you think you are? Always putting me down. Small. I have to be small. So me, I had to just be like a mute and try to express less, live less, be less. Growth mindset. Understanding that things change and evolve. Fixed mindset. It is what it is. You better get used to it. Let go of the fixed mindset. Anything in your life, believe that it can change and evolve with you. Just you. Just you. Like I said in the previous live, if you have not caught that one about freedom, if you want to change your life, you change yourself. Okay? So guys, these are the 5 things that you can do to start tackling your limited beliefs. And limited beliefs are like shackles. Each chain you break, you're going somewhere. Each chain you break, you're going somewhere. I'm doing all this live to do one thing: create movement in your life. I'm not promising you that I'm bringing you to the moon. I'm not promising you that I'm bringing you to the stars. But what I am promising you is that I'm making a shift in your life, creating movement. You see, sometimes you're trying to open something that's stuck, and that first, okay, let's say you're trying to open a jar. It's tight. There's like, in your mind, it's like it's impossible. But then that first little wiggle, and you see there's room that it can actually happen. That's what I'm trying to do in your life. Is to, you see when something is rusted and you put that little grease, that I think it's called snake oil or something like that allows to create that movement so you can do whatever. That's what the School of Superpower does on the No Filter platform. So I'm going to leave you with my quote today. And B, I hope you can write it for me. But it may be long. You may not get the whole thing. But what is true today is not always true all the time. What used to be true, what is true today, is not what is true all the time. Because what is true today might not be tomorrow. Why would your beliefs be fixed in time? Why is it that if truth changes based off of timing, remember, there was a time you needed to cut the chicken legs. There was a time the elephant could not get away from the tree. These are truths that changed with time. However, we want the same belief that we had when we were tiny babies to remain the same. As a matter of fact, we want the belief that our grandparents had to still be valid today in their entirety. That's how my grandpapa raised me. That's how my grandpapa raised my daddy. So I'm going to raise my son the same way. I'm going to raise my daughter the same way. This is how we are doing these people a disservice. We're not respecting our ancestors when we do that. We're not honoring them, because if we were honoring them, we would continue on the work for them. They only did their best at the time. Guys, I hope that those things that I've said kind of start making you think. Think about your personal relationships. Think about your career. Think about your regular life. Think about the things that you do with yourself. Think about the things that you believe. Think about the things that stop you because of beliefs of other people. A lot of times it's about other people. It's not even about you. And now think about all the people who are great, who've made it in our minds. Steve Jobs, Anatole France, Henry Ford. They all share the same mindset, is that they believe in their own self. They believe in their own desires. If their intuition says, I'm a great singer, I must be a great singer. And they work as a great singer, as a great journalist, as a great poet. If you think about, I'm not going to take that example. That's going to be too long. But there's so many examples of people. If you want any inspiration, just look at an award show and look at what the winners always say. But the ones that are really feeling it, they will always say this: I believed it. I believed that I could do this. I believed in myself when nobody else believed in me. The people who don't believe in you, it's not because they hate you. I keep saying that. It's not their job. It's your job to believe in you first. Because what makes a superstar is that they have a ton of people who believe in them, right? But it's because they believe in themselves before. They are always their first supporter. They're not looking for you to put them there, because they already knew, they already believed. That's why I love rappers. Rappers believe in themselves so much. They just believe in themselves. And then with that and that energy, they get a lot of people who say, that must be good. That must be good. And it's not the other way around. There's no chosen one. That's fixed mindset. There's no chosen one. Like you're going to come and then God is going to pull you out from the group of people and then you're going to be the chosen one and everybody else is shit. It doesn't work that way. Everybody is deserving. That's a new thing that I just learned. Probably going to be in another life. Everybody is deserving. I don't deserve more than you. We all deserve. The thing is, we don't believe that we deserve. We don't believe we deserve. Do you believe that you deserve great love? Do you believe that you deserve truth and peace and happiness? Do you believe you deserve wealth and abundance? Do you believe that? Do you believe that you deserve it? Probably not. Most of us don't. Most of us are like, shit. Most people don't make it, so I should consider myself lucky. Anyway, guys, this is the School of Superpowers. This is what we do. These are the topics we touch. We want to talk about anything that can help you change your mindset, anything that can make a change in your life. That is what we want. If you love this topic, 2 things I want you to do. 2 things. I don't know if you can help me by posting the link to my blog, because I wrote a full blog on limiting beliefs. And I made sure that this live was using an angle that is different from what I use on the blog. So you get to see different ways of dealing with limiting beliefs. This one is free. Please go to the schoolofsuperpowers.com. The article name is, I believe I was in denial, something about denial. I have a few blogs on there. The schoolofsuperpowers.com. Go on my website. It is free. Go read the blog on limited beliefs. And it's called something about denial. I was in denial, something like that. Number 2 that you can do, if this is a topic that you like and you're like, man, I need to do this work, please go on my website, the School of Superpowers, enroll in my course, Your Pathway. My brother's like, oh my God, you're always plugging your course. But it's in line with, that's why I created it. I created it so it can help all these topics. And so in the course, there's a large part of it that deals with limiting beliefs, because as part of finding that freedom, that glide path, you need to let go of the things that are holding you back. And these are limiting beliefs. So that's one of the things that we deal with in the course, limiting beliefs. We take time, we dig deep, we dive deep, and we pull it out, and then we rework the beliefs so that way you can dream. The course, Your Pathway, makes you dream. You see when Steve Jobs says, find your dream and believe in it? That is what Your Pathway course does, because now it allows you to dream. Right now you can be dreaming. Right now you have all these things that are telling you that you can't. All those beliefs that are putting you in that little box. You're living in that little space. Not until you can strip yourself from all these things, you're not going to be able to see clearly so you can have your own dreams and your own vision. We're all meant to be grand. But I know it sounds hoo-hoo-ha-ha what I'm saying, but we're all meant to be grand. We are at the beginning of humanity's evolution. We are still, as human beings, behaving like animals, yet we have the power of choice, which an animal doesn't have. We have a mind-body connection that the animal does not have. We have what the animal has and more. It means we need to evolve. We need to grow. But right now we're fighting with poverty. We're fighting with disease. We're fighting with primitive things that in an evolved society, they've already surpassed us in 200-300 years. Just think about the things we were dealing with 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Science and evolution has solved so many problems in our lifetime. Don't you believe if you project 200 years plus, do you think we're going to be here? It's going to be stupid. I was talking to my brother the other day. It's going to be stupid that people were in car accidents, because cars are going to drive themselves and regulate themselves, and the roads are going to be smart enough to know not to let 2 cars crash against each other. In 200 years, not even in 50 years, people are going to laugh at car accidents. They're going to be like, people used to bump against each other? Why? That's so dumb. Well, because we would have evolved. But right now, we think it's okay that we're bumping against each other when there's enough science to stop that from happening. And a lot of cars are starting to include that. You have the little beep beep, or you have some cars that try to stop, or you have to, okay, but you have to activate it. Now you're going to have cars that do it by themselves. Let's get ourselves into this evolution track. So let's evolve ourselves. And one way to do that is by changing our mindset, which is why I created Your Pathway course, which is why I'm doing the live, which is why I'm writing my blog, because what my role is that I chose for myself. Nobody told me to do it. I choose to participate in humanity's evolution. That's what I want to do. That's what brings me joy. That's my dream. Anything that I do, if you think you're gonna find Ann Christie sitting here trying to destroy someone, try to say some dumb shit about someone, I'm sorry, it's for adults. you're not gonna find me. Hey, not because it's not that I don't say dumb shit about people, but what I'm saying, this is not my job. This is what I want to actively do. If I say something like this, I see the lower level side of me that's doing it. And Christy, get a hold of yourself, man. This is not what you're supposed to be doing. I have a gauge now because I did your pathway and I know where I'm going. So I'm able to know every time I veer off course, it's clear to me. It is clear that, you're off course right now. And another thing to do too, we're not fixed. Every year, I will, and I advise everybody to do it because the companies do it. Every other institution does it. You go to the doctor. Everything is done once a year. Check to see if your vision that you have for yourself, where you decided to go in the first place, is it still good, or do I need to make a little adjustment? It is okay to change. Don't look for tautology. Tautology is something that is always true. Don't look for those things in your life because you're trying to get disengaged from life. Life is dynamic. Life is like a football game, a soccer game, it's dynamic. You cannot just be, the action passes you by. Participate in life, participate in your life. That's what the School of Superpowers want for you. And that's what we're doing. And I want you guys to continue participating with me. Go on my Instagram, theschoolofsuperpowers.com. Follow me, please, because that's what my platform is about. It's about humanity's evolution. Every single thing I have a trick. Every time I have a trick, I learn a trick, I share it. You know what? I've always been this way and I was doing it for free. I'm like, hey, let me do a platform and do it for real this time. Because I'm that chick. If I see a good skincare, I share it with everyone. Even nobody asked me. If I see a trick, I share it. Because I realize that that's my thing. That's kind of what I love to do. So that's what I do on my platform. So go on my Instagram, The School of Superpowers on IG, The School of Superpowers on Facebook. I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube. But then also go on my website. If you're interested in my course, Your Pathway, please listen. Send me a DM because I have a special in the month of October and I have a coupon code I can share with you for the month of October. The coupon code is coming out on the 15th. Send me a DM so I can share the coupon code with you. That way you can use it so that you can enroll in my online course. It is a pure online course. You're not even going to see my face. Thank God. I mean, you're probably going to see some videos of my face, but you don't need to call me. I'm not going to hold your hand. However, if you want a coaching session, we also do have coaching session that you can add on top of the course. But the course is completely self-taught. It's something you can do between 2 and 6 hours. Some of my friends have done it in 2.5 hours. Some people have taken 2 weeks. Some people have taken 4 hours. It depends on your pace. It's not big. It's not long. It's not cumbersome. It's actually quite light, I think. So go for it. Participate in the course if you can. DM me if you want the coupon code. If you don't want to spend any money right now, but you're still interested in the topic, please go on my website, put your email down so you can participate in my mailing list. So that way, when another article comes out, and another one is probably going to come in the next 2 weeks, and that one is going to be explosive, guys. I think I'm going to have to change addresses afterwards. I'm going to have to go below the radar because that thing is explosive. So I'm trying to find the right words because it needs to be said. But because I don't believe in destruction, I believe in construction. I have to find a way to address a very destructive topic in a constructive way. So that's why I haven't finished writing it yet, okay? So I think I've said it all. Guys, I love you. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for participating. My life is all the way whack in the way that I'm trying to do this live streaming, so forgive me. Hopefully next time is better. I hope somebody wants to volunteer and teach me how to do this damn thing because it's not working for me, okay? Right now I'm not really looking at myself. I'm not sure who I'm speaking to, so it's a bit crazy for me, okay? So guys, that's all I have to say. I love you. I love the time that I just spent with you. Thank you for your patience and thank you for your participation. Please DM me. Let me know you're alive. Go on my Instagram. Follow me on my webpage. Put your email down so I know you exist so we can continue communicating, all right? Stay blessed.